Right, full time, Arsenal 2, West Ham 0, a game that was played at the Emirates. Arsenal's gonna hit obviously emerge as winners into this particular fixture as they obviously put in a very huge showcase down there at the Stadium of Emirates. Smash like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name and hope you guys are really having fun wherever you are, and continue to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, Arsenal came into this game of football knowing that they have to win, and they had it in mind that the previous two games they've gone ahead to play West Ham at the Emirates, Arsenal have emerged losers into that particular fixture. And when you look at those two previous seasons, these are some of the fixtures that let Arsenal down when it came to vying for the title of the Premier League. For example, last season but one, that is 2023-2024, the club of Arsenal found itself in a position of losing to Aston Villa and West Ham at that stadium. You understand? So those are the games that have always gone ahead to obviously fail a club known as Arsenal to lift the trophy. And I've always told you that this season they have every tool, to obviously come in through and really destroy any team that really costed them points. And when you look at the Emirates, Arsenal have gone ahead to come in through, and the only draw they've gone ahead to get is against Man City. And when you draw against Man City, anyone can understand that you've been playing one of the best teams in Europe. You understand? So when you're playing one of the best teams in the world, obviously when a draw comes in through, I think it's not an ugly take. You understand? Because you note it that Man City can go to any of your competitors' home ground and grab 3 points or even beat them hands down. You understand? So that's exactly what City can do for you. So Arsenal came into this game of football knowing that when they win, they are going to go on top of the Premier League table. And that's how things have gone ahead to happen in there for you. In the 38th minute, Declan Rice went ahead to obviously open up the score for the club of Arsenal. Then in the 67th minute, Bukayo Saka went ahead to obviously give Arsenal a 2-goal lead through a penalty. And for these 2 goals, I want to give credit to one player that most of you might not even understand him and the role he played, not until I'm going to be mentioning about him. I talk about Martin Zubimendi. Martin Zubimendi came on the pitch after Martin Odegaard was obviously taken off the pitch. Why was he taken off the pitch? Because the player was really having huge problems with his knee. He first went down, they took him off, and he told the physios that, please, I feel like I can go much more longer. And he came on the pitch. He returned on the pitch. When he returned, I tell you what, a lot went ahead to happen, and he went down and they took him off. That's the moment of magic, and it might be a blessing disguise for the club of Arsenal to see to it that this lad came on. That is Martin Zubimendi, because if you're looking for who was responsible for the secondary assists for these 2 goals, Martin Zubimendi's name keeps lingering in everyone's mind, unless otherwise you don't watch football as we watch it. We put on different lenses when you're watching this beautiful game of football, but when you're really watching the game, you need to obviously pay attention to detail. Most people will look at Ebelechi Eze for that shot that he put in that saw it ricochet into the vicinity of a player known as Declan Rice. But I tell you what, the man who made that goal was Martin Zubimendi. He laid that ball into the 18-yard box area. Ebelechi Eze made a very huge run, hit that ball, and it ricocheted into the vicinity of a player known as Declan Rice, and Declan Rice nodded it into the back of the net. You understand? He never celebrated because this is the team that really got hold of him when Chelsea had thrown him under the bus in the academy. And at West Ham, he has obviously gone ahead to make history as after, I think, 50 years, he was the captain that came in through and won them a trophy. And that was, I think, the UEFA Conference League, right? And that is the last season he played for them. That is 2023, And he left and he came and signed for the club of Arsenal. That is Declan Rice for you. And that's what he went ahead, obviously, put out in there. So Zubimendi, hugely involved into that first goal. And let's get into the second one. The second one, into his own half, he reads the run of Julian Timber like a book and releases the player. And Julian Timber is forward, I think by Diouf, into the 18 yards box area of a team known as West Ham. And it's pointed, and the referee pointed at the spot, and it was a penalty. Now, when the penalty came in through, I thought that it was going to be Victor Gyökeres to take the penalty, because we all know to it that it was decided that Gyökeres will take the Arsenal penalties, all of them. But when I saw Saka holding that ball, I got back to the video I did as a match preview before this game of football went ahead to obviously happen. And what was it all about? It was all about Saka clocking 200 games for the club of Arsenal. And the last player that scored a goal when he was clicking 200 appearances for the club of Arsenal was Thierry Henry in 2005. You understand? 2005, Thierry Henry came up, represented, and really scored a goal. You understand? So after scoring that beautiful goal, after that penalty came in through, I really understood that that's the reason as to why they had to obviously come up and really put in a very huge shift altogether and really give the ball to Bukayo Saka. And Bukayo Saka did nothing wrong apart from sending the goalkeeper the wrong way, and he really went ahead to put that ball in the back of the net to make it 2-0 for the club of Arsenal. And for that, at least every Arsenal fan, wherever he or she was, gained confidence that at least we are really having a 2-0 lead. Because when it's 1-0, I tell you what, there is no way you come up and obviously say that you are safe with West Ham, because West Ham have good players that can obviously pull out a moment of magic and produce something from nothing. We are talking about players like Gerard Bowen. We are talking about players like Lucas Paqueta. You understand? Sola. Those players from nowhere can pull out a moment of magic. The Falkregs of this world. So, that is the side of West Ham for you. And Nuno Espirito, in his first game, he drew with Everton. And this time around, there has been no chance given to him to obviously come in through and really put in a very huge shift to obviously survive at the Stadium of Emirates. And Arsenal have gone ahead to really keep another clean sheet. That's another positive that you have to understand. And no team has gone ahead to concede least goals like Arsenal. Arsenal has only gone ahead to concede 3 goals. And at the Emirates, I think they've only conceded in 1 game, and that is against Man City. The other 2 goals have gone ahead to come in through away from home at Anfield when they're playing against Liverpool, and the other one when they're playing against Newcastle. Those are the 3 goals they've gone ahead to obviously concede, meaning that this has been their 7th game of the Premier League season, and they've gone ahead to collect 16 points, meaning that they've gone ahead to lose 5. 1 loss and 1 draw. That is Arsenal for you. So, Martin Odegaard, let's hint a little bit onto him before we obviously get into the stats of the game. Martin Odegaard, particularly, this is what I really want to recommend to the physios of Arsenal. Why don't you let the man heal? You know? Let Martin Odegaard heal. Let him heal, because this is the 3rd time he's coming off the pitch and you rush him back. If he needs a surgery, last time it was the shoulder, this time I'm going to say it's a knee. Let the man really heal, because he will obviously get an injury that might even end his career because of such stuff. You know, I've gone here to see players being forced on the field of play, and at the end of it all, they have to spend like 5-6 months without kicking the ball. You know, with the quality around Arsenal, I see no reason as to why they should force this guy on the pitch. You know, I know he's their best creator, and even at the beginning of the game, he released Ebelechi Eze. You know, he released him, and I think he really did. I think released Gyökeres. Gyökeres hit that ball, and it went to the vicinity where Declan Rice was when he was scoring the first goal, but Ebelechi Eze hit that ball over the bar. I really understand. He's really good. He's your best creator. But why are you forcing him onto the field of play? That is the huge question. Why are you forcing him onto the field of play? When you're having a Belechi Eze, you are having Ethan Waneri, you are having, which other player? You are having Trossard, you know, very many creative players. And you are obviously acting like you are desperate. This time round, I think Arsenal should let Odegaard heal. Why? The trophy-winning months start counting from February, March, April. Those 3 months are really vital in winning the trophy. Because even if you win all your games, come February and you start sleeping around, I tell you, you won't really win the trophy. Meaning that if you're really having these players around, let Odegaard join Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, and Noni Madueke. 2 months later, these 4 players will come in through with new energy and new hunger to obviously take your team to where it deserves to be. That is it. So let's get into the stats of the game and see how things are going to pan out. Arsenal had 21 shots. West Ham had 4. 5 shots on target. I think a little bit of composure was really lacking into the game. West Ham had 0 shots on target. 69% ball possession by Arsenal. West Ham had 31%. 565 passes completed by Arsenal. 263 passes completed by West Ham. 87% passing accuracy by Arsenal. West Ham had 78%. 14 fouls for both teams. 0 yellow cards to Arsenal and 2 yellow cards to the club of West Ham. 0 red cards to both sides. 1 offside to either side that participated into this London derby. 8 corners for Arsenal, though none of those went ahead to cross the line. And now we get 3 of those into the back of the net. And 3 to the side of West Ham. And it's really an upgrade for the club of Arsenal because if you remember very well, the club of Arsenal went ahead to play a team called Newcastle. And if you remember very well, both of the goals they scored came in through from set pieces. And everyone was like, set piece FC, set piece FC. But right now, Arsenal has found themselves in a position of really scoring goals that are from open play. You know, all those goals, even the penalty came in through. I really understand. It's really one of those set plays, but it came in through after a player was really brought down through an open play process. You understand? So that's exactly what Arsenal was all about. And let's get straight into the table. Arsenal is on top of the Premier League table. And how is it looking? 7 games played, 5 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss, 14 goals scored, and 3 goals conceded. The goal difference is 11, and they're having 16 points. Liverpool is 6th with 5 wins, 0 draws, 1 loss, 12 goals scored, 7 goals conceded, goal difference of 5, and they're really having 15 points. And they are going in action with Man City. They are going in action with Chelsea in just 2-3 minutes from now. And we wait to see how things happen in there. Spurs are 3rd, 7 games with 14 points. Bournemouth are 4th, 7 games, 14 points. Crystal Palace are 5th, 6 games, 12 points. Meaning that if they win their game of what they're really having, they can do that. Sunderland has lost to Manchester United. I'm going to be doing that onto the United Matters channel in there. And Man City is 7th, 6 games, and they're having 10 points in there. So that's how the table is looking like for the for the Premier League. And a lot has gone ahead to happen, but we can't break it all down. And obviously, we are here to really wait and see what your thoughts are about this particular game of football. For anything that I'm not going to obviously talk about, I think I'll come back and really give you a very beautiful hint about it in here onto the Rokani Media Football. Thank you guys for watching through. Arsenal have gone ahead to win this. And Martin Odegaard is the first player in the Premier League history to be substituted before half-time in 3 consecutive Premier League starts. Obviously, that is another stuff that Martin Odegaard has gone ahead obviously set up there, that it's not really good for him. And my advice would be, let the lad rest. That's it. So guys, thank you for watching it through. Continue to subscribe. How do you subscribe? Lower right bottom corner is the place to be. Smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell. That will enable you to get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. And we sign out for now and see you in our next video. We're obviously going to be coming up with the player ratings. Be ready for the match reaction of Chelsea and Liverpool. But on the community page, it's really going to be active in there. We are going to be active on the community page as we bring you all the magic as it really goes down at the Stamford Bridge. Chelsea, I know very many Arsenal fans are like, please, Chelsea, go ahead and do the needful and really stop Liverpool. And I really believe that Chelsea can stop Liverpool today. And I made my prediction that as we head into the international break, Arsenal will be the table leaders. Let's wait and see whether my prediction comes to pass. Ciao, ciao.